So today we're going to make some Mexican lasagna. The first step in making Mexican lasagna is to first get a casserole dish. And you need to buy your chopped meat, as you can see here. You then cook the chopped meat on the oven, or stove as we call it, as you can see there, adding some taco seasoning which comes with the packet. After that is complete, you then put one layer of cooked meat with taco seasoning, lay it down inside the casserole dish, and you're going to apply to the top of this a layer of soft tortillas. These soft tortillas act as if this is the lasagna, the pasta. I then have prepared, prior to cooking this, some chopped up tomatoes and chopped up chives. This will be used for the top of the Mexican lasagna, as you can see. Other supplies that are necessary to have include sour cream. A large amount of sour cream is necessary in order to layer the top and the middle and the other layers of the Mexican lasagna. And most importantly is the cheese. Mild cheddar cheese, sharp cheddar cheese, whatever type of cheddar cheese you want, just have some cheddar cheese. Okay? So we're now after we put the first layer of meat, we then apply one layer of soft tortillas, and on top of this we're going to add a layer of sour cream. You can gently move the sour cream with a spoon along the top of the soft tortillas. This is making the first layer of the Mexican lasagna. As you can see here, we have the first layer of sour cream put down. So we have the bottom portion is the chopped meat, as you can see, which has the taco seasoning, or the enchilada seasoning. Then we have the layer of the tortilla, followed by the sour cream. As you can see, my wonderful wife here, Janet, who is not to mention of Spanish descent, is preparing this Mexican lasagna. Although I can do it, she's doing it today. She's very good at it. Now, it doesn't really matter what brand you buy of products. We usually go for the cheaper products, is that right? It just so happened that Stop & Shop brand was on sale this week. So we got the Stop & Shop shredded mild cheddar, along with the Stop & Shop sour cream. And we got some Stop & Shop chopped meat, which was a little bit expensive, I might add. So, to complete the first layer of our Mexican lasagna, we're now going to apply some cheese. So to repeat that, we have meat, soft tortilla, sour cream, and cheese, also known as queso. So to continue, we're now going to apply the cheese layer. As you can see, we just gently pour it on. She's doing a circular fashion, or a square. But just make sure you have enough to cover. It will spread when it cooks. It will melt.
Meat.
Now that completes the first layer. Now we're going to add some more meat. Okay, so it may be important at times to strain the meat of its juice, because you don't want a very wet and sloppy lasagna. Now do you? So now we're applying another layer of meat.
I have a feeling we did this wrong.
My wife has a feeling she did this wrong, so it's probably not good to give advice on how to make it. But either way, it doesn't matter. It will taste good in the end. You can shake it a couple times to get the juice out, and just gently apply it and spread it. Spread the meat. It's very simple and fun.
No, this is right. It's right.
It's now right, she says.
Because there's a last layer of meat.
She has difficulty recalling the past a lot of times, and it could take up to minutes.
Stop it.
So she's gently raking with the spatula the meat across the top layer of cheese. Okay, when this is put in the oven, this will melt and it will make a nice conglomerate of cheese, cheddar cheese, meat, and sour cream. The next step is to now add another layer of soft tortillas. As you can see, again, she's going to apply this layer. Now we bought the old El Paso brand of tortillas. You can break it up in any shape or size, but just make sure it covers the entire layer of meat. Always make sure, when cooking, to clean your hands before and after handling raw meat. That's an important part, because you don't want to risk getting salmonella. So, we now have another layer of tortilla, soft tortilla. So it's coming along here now. We're now ready to apply another layer of sour cream, we think. So you can see again, she's applying massive amounts of sour cream to this Mexican lasagna. She's now going to layer the sour cream on top of the tortilla. We're now working on the second layer. The Mexican lasagna tastes very good. You might not think it does because you're used to the usual, meat, cheese, and pasta lasagna, as Italians would eat, but here in Mexico, we like to eat the Mexican lasagna.
We're not in Mexico, Chris. I think we're in Rhode Island.
As you can see, she laid out a very nice layer of sour cream, covering all areas of the tortilla. This is important to get the best taste possible.
This is the last.
We're now going to apply another layer of meat.
Last one.
As you can see, she had drained it there to get some of the juice out. And this is the last layer of meat that we will have. We initially started out with a good deal of meat. How much meat did we have in the beginning?
2 pounds.
We started out with about 2 pounds of meat. Okay? And this should feed generally it could feed about 10 people or me. So, you have to, it all depends on who you're making it for. You need to know your guests. So we're just finishing up this layer of meat here, letting it drain. And we're going to nicely rake it across, just like leaves. Just rake it. Be sure not to waste any meat. There are starving people out there. And always watch yourself with the hot pan. You wouldn't want to get burnt.
Last time.
Now you have to be careful when handling this and putting it into the oven, as it could be very heavy. We have 2 pounds of meat, a great deal amount of sour cream, cheese, and tortilla. So it could be heavy. Be careful handling it. It can be hot at the end. So she's just going to make sure that this layer is nicely spread across. And it's important to have a uniform layer, not thick or thin in one area or another, and have it evenly spread out across the top of the layers. Either way, it's going to taste good in the end. Now we're going to apply a layer of cheddar cheese. You can see she's just pouring it on here. And you don't have to pour it on in such a dense fashion, as it will melt. And when it melts, it spreads out, so to conserve some cheese. You could also use that tip when making pizza as well. Unless, of course, you like a lot of cheese. You want extra cheese.
Okay.
Now, the going rate for this, I mean, it could get pretty expensive. You do have to buy 2 pounds of meat. And how much did that 2 pounds of meat cost? Almost $9. That bag of cheese probably cost about $4.89. And we use 2 tomatoes here. And we have some of the green onions, which was, you can put them inside the meat when you're cooking it. Or you can layer them on top
Did
for
you heat the oven?
a nice taste. Now we're going to preheat the oven to...
I don't remember what it was. Was it 375 or 350?
350 degrees Fahrenheit. And that'll take about 5 minutes and 50 seconds. And we will patiently wait for that to heat up. And our next step will then be to put this into the oven for approximately 30 minutes. Once we see it nicely browning and melting on top, we will then remove it. Upon removing it, we will then place some tomatoes and some chives on top for an extra good taste. So I'm now going to open up the oven and I'm going to proceed to put in the Mexican lasagna. And remember, it's hot and it's heavy in here, so be careful. And we'll let this sit for about 30 minutes or so, but we'll check on it. See you in a bit. So it's been in the oven for about 10 to 15 minutes, and we're going to take a look. Okay, so as you can see, we have the cheese melting here. It's looking good and tasty. But remember, it's hot, so be careful. Okay, so we're going to take a look at the oven now and see how we're doing. So it looks like it's ready to be taken out, so we'll go ahead and take it out. Remember, be careful when you take it out. And you can see that the cheese is melted, the meat below it, and you can see the sour cream there as well. Okay, so we'll proceed to take it out now. Always use 2 hands to remove it, okay? When doing so. Okay, so now we have it. Always don't forget to turn off the oven. So we have it removed from the oven now. And what we have is, we have our green onion and we have our tomato, which we will apply to the top of the food here. And we're applying the green onions now, and this will add some taste to it, which will be very nice. And so you have it. this here is the completed Mexican lasagna. It is now ready to be served. Feel free to use Mexican or Spanish style dishes as we have here. We have these Spanish style dishes. Okay, these are from Pfaltzgraff. Okay, and we'll use these. We also have other types of things we can use, as you can see here. We can use that as well. But always remember, you need a microwave safe, oven safe, dish to cook this Mexican lasagna in. Any of these are good and work. They're safe in the oven. Okay. Well, thank you for watching our video on how to make a Mexican lasagna. Please stay tuned for our other videos. Goodbye. Till next time. Now here, I'm just going to show you a cross-sectional of it. And you can see the many different layers. And it looks, ooh, so tasty.